Well, hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to be talking about ecosystems, interactions among living things. The new vocabulary for this unit would be population density, limiting factor, symbiosis, niche, habitat, and ecosystems. An ecosystem is a community of living organisms in conjunction with the non living components of their environment, all interacting as a system. These living and non living components are linked together through nutrient cycles and energy flows. A great example is plant and animal respiration. Population size is one of many terms used to identify the number of living organisms. It is a number. It could be the number of students in a class, a school, a state, even a country. It could be the number of pine trees in a forest. It could be the number of bluebirds in a county. Which of these would be the most difficult to determine? If you said the number of bluebirds in a county, you would be correct. Why? Because birds are always moving and flying off, difficult to track. Students or trees would be a much easier uh, thing to determine because they can be contained long enough to get a good count. Besides using a number to represent population size, many times a graph is used. What was the world population in 2000 based on this graph? Well, let's see. Let's go along the x axis to the year 2000, go up to the graph line, and then look over to the y axis. And it looks like it would be 6 billion humans in the year 2000. What will the population size be in the year 2030? Well, here you have to look at the scale. And it looks like every vertical column is 10 years. So we have 2000, 2010, 2020, 2030. Go up to the graph line and go across to this line on the y axis. And it looks like in the year 2030, the population size will be 8 billion humans in the world. Another term used to describe population is population density. Density refers to the number of an organism in a given space, say a square mile per square mile. In 2018, in fact, the population of Phoenix, Arizona was about 1.7 million people. But that same year, the population in New York City was 8.4 million people. Wow. New York City is very dense and must be very crowded. It's almost 5 times as dense in population. Besides using a number to represent population density, sometimes a graph is used here as well. Here, the legend shows different colors to show high and low densities. As you can see from the legend on the bottom left hand corner of the chart, the map shows that the darker areas are the most dense. In other words, whatever this is measuring, that's where there's the greatest density per square mile of whatever organism this is. Now, this could be mosquitoes, birds, squirrels. It could be any number of organisms shown on the map. And as you can see, the darker areas are shown here in the southeastern region, and the least dense would be in the lighter colors here, here, over here, out west, and here. Limiting factors. Limiting factors are any conditions that could limit the size of a population in a given area. There could be many. A limiting factor could also negatively impact other organisms in a given area. Some limiting factors are listed on the right panel. For example, food sources, water sources, grazing lands, predators, fires, floods, environmental disasters like earthquakes, human factors such as pollution. All of these could limit the ability of a population to survive in a given area. Symbiosis. In ecosystems, many species of an organism have close relationships that are necessary for their survival. Symbiosis is any close interaction between two or more different species. Symbiotic relationships can be identified by the type of interaction between organisms. For example, plants breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen. Humans in, breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. So you can see this is a mutually symbiotic relationship. One benefits the other benefits the other. Everyone benefits. That's mutually symbiotic. Niche. In a community, every species plays a role. The role or job of an organism is in an ecosystem is called its niche. Some are producers and some are consumers. An example of producers would be um, plants that produce fruit or grass. Consumers would be sheep that eat the fruits and the grass. Habitat. The place where an organism lives is called its habitat. An earthworm's habitat is the soil. Examples of other habitats are shown on the right panel. For example, birds' habitat would be the forest. Humans would be an apartment or house. An alligator would live in a swamp. A pine tree, its habitat would be the forest. A shark's habitat, the ocean. Honeybee, a beehive. Well, that's it, boys and girls. Until next time, feel free to watch this video again. Be sure to complete the assignments associated with this lesson. Again, we're looking for an 80% mastery level. Remember to learn something new every day. Up next, balance in ecosystems.